Happy Friday, America, on this January 26, 2024. That's right, this is the last Happy Friday of the month of January. Hard to believe we're already talking February. Super Bowl's coming, NASCAR's coming, a lot of great things coming, including this episode of Happy Friday. Be sure to mash that subscribe button so you never miss an episode of this fantastic program and our sister show, Discussion Combustion Podcast. You just got done rocking the Fricashinas, fantastic band, right here in Denver, Colorado, locally based, but check them out no matter where you're at. Always offering the great jams. My name is Kevin Batstone. Run the ones and twos tonight, having some fun, doing a little MCing. Couldn't do it, of course, without my good buddy joining me across the table, Arthur Article Rawe.
Yeah, baby, you know we are genuine and we keep it authentic, and that's 24/7, 365, and god dang it, it's Friday again. We coming back at you, and you know we're going to start with Today in History on January 26th. What's our first one in here, Kev?
Let's go, Art. History, always how we kick it off here. We have some fun on this program with some history. So look, Art, we got 1863, the American Civil War. Massachusetts, a state that was just to my south where I grew up in the 603. Massachusetts governor receives permission from the Secretary of War to raise a militia organization for men of African descent, the 54th Massachusetts Regiment. Kind of a big deal in the Civil War history.
Pretty sure it's the first of its kind. And anytime we've had a segregated war unit, like even in World War I, World War II, like these men and women always tend to fight like super brave and are put into frontline situations as well. So the acts of heroism from these individuals, that regiment, amazing, and a huge part of having a military that is inclusive, right? So that's definitely a huge thing.
Yeah,
moving forward a little bit to 1907, the first U.S. federal corrupt election practices law passed. So I'm guessing this is a law that is supposed to be in place to weed out corruption, and this law is probably still failing to this date hundreds of years later.
100% guaranteed it's still failing, but the fact remains it did go into law in 1907. Don't think it worked.
Yeah, don't think that one worked, but we know one thing, that U.S. forces did put their boots on the ground first time during World War II in 1942, and that was in Northern Ireland. Wait. It was World War II assured the Northern Ireland, not Ireland.
Yeah.
Sorry, Vicky. I thought about you. You make me nervous now when I read.
Somebody take a shot. Also, another game we have out there. Now, we took a long break from nuclear testing.
Okay.
The eagerly awaited return of this day in history. What do we got for nuclear testing?
1967, man. The bombs are back on the map, and USSR did perform a nuclear test at Sary Shagan, USSR.
Yeah, well, that's good, because now we can get a look. Everything's right in the world again.
Dude, they took the holidays off.
We got nuclear testing back here in the late January, almost February.
People were taking the holidays off in nuclear testing. Like, we couldn't find anything really.
It wasn't going on. They said, you know what, let's ease it. Let's put it away for a bit. We'll pick it up in a little bit. Now, big one. Here's a big one in Today in History, Art. 1998. Mm-hmm. Everybody remembers, of course, who is at least, over the age of probably 25, 26. I mean, I remember this being a big deal. Everyone remembers. President Bill Clinton at the time, who's also had some poor media about him here recently, went on record to say, quote, "I did not have sexual relations with that woman," referring to Monica Lewinsky.
That turned out to be a lie.
Did turn out to be a lie.
And you were talking about a specific dress that was sold for millions?
Yeah, so the dress that Monica Lewinsky was wearing
on it
had some bodily fluids on it from that excursion, if you will. That event. That
did not happen.
That allegedly didn't happen, but there was a dress that sold for it. Kind of a weird deal.
Yeah.
It really gave Bill Clinton a bad name, but I think really he's got a bad name for other reasons that we don't have time to get into now.
Not today. Not today.
Not this time. But the fact remains that happened on this day in history, which is crazy because I remember that. Mm-hmm. I remember that as a kid, as I was in school and getting into politics and understanding what was going on in our country. That was a big day.
It was a big day.
It was a big day.
I think that's when I learned what fellatio was.
Was that was the first time?
How old was I then? I don't know. I can't speak. No, yeah, probably. I was like 11-ish.
Yeah, you're like, what's a blowjob?
Yeah, what is that?
Yeah.
So thanks, Bill.
Yeah, a lot of things going on with our American leaders. So let's keep moving. So Dwayne The Rock Johnson, everyone loves The Rock, right? He's been known as The Rock. I was a big WWE, WWF guy. For those that used to watch this program, John Ekstrom, huge into wrestling and went to the Royal Rumble and all that stuff. I was a big Stone Cold Steve Austin guy. So The Rock, badass. I think that I'm going to agree with Greg Langlois on this. I think The Rock is going to headline WrestleMania this year. I think he is, and I think he's going to take the championship. We'll see. But here's
The Rock is doing wrestling again?
Yeah, he's back. He's back. He's not wrestling, but he's been making appearances in the ring.
Interesting.
And he's at the age where, like, I think he could do a match a year. Show up at WrestleMania, maybe take a belt. We'll see. We'll see how they want to do it. So TKO is a major entertainment group that owns both the UFC and the World Wrestling Entertainment Organization. We know Vince McMahon's gotten out of it. Triple H is taking over, kind of on the commissioner CEO roles. So The Rock has now gained full rights to that name, The Rock.
Okay.
So Dwayne Johnson, we've seen in the movies. I mean, first of all, badass nickname.
Yeah.
But WWE owned that name, The Rock.
Okay.
We just knew him as Dwayne The Rock Johnson. Now he can do whatever he wants with it. He can market it any which way he wants. The guy certainly doesn't need the money. He's got Terramana tequila. He's got his energy drinks. He's got all the things under the sun from movies, TV shows, writing, acting, lifting weights. I mean, the guy is a badass.
He's getting after it.
Yeah, he's getting it done.
I mean, he's up before people get up, and to be able to have that name, The Rock, and be able to use it, he's probably like, it's probably one of those things where he's like, I've been using it, just not in legal terms, like, but this has been my shit. Everybody already knows this is my shit. Like, you can't stop it anyway. So it's just is falling into place. Probably nothing is skipping beat for him because of this. It's probably just all going the same.
Yeah.
He's probably making more money now because of it, honestly.
Probably. And The Rock has, I mean, to be fair, he's earned his way to his wealth, if you will. A lot of people go, born with money, born with a silver spoon. The Rock didn't really come from a lot, right? He barely had $7 in his pocket when he first started getting into professional wrestling. Now he owns a football league. We know he's in many movies. He's got his energy drink that I talked about, his Terramana tequila, which is doing tremendous in the market. I mean, the guy's crushing it. So The Rock is a huge motivation, I think, to the American people. If you follow him on social media, and he's not one of those guys that's like, you have to do this, this, and this. He's like, you got to do what you need to do for you, right? And that he just loves being in the gym, loves getting super yoked. I mean, the dude is yoked.
My favorite thing about him is when he posts videos of him driving around in Hollywood, stopping next to the tour buses. And he's showing love to the fans, giving love to the people, because it's interesting when you're well known, because people are still just people, but then your fan base looks up to you even though you feel equal.
Right.
So for him to maintain that and always treat people as equals, even though they're looking up to him, respect The Rock.
Solid lad, hands down. Love watching his videos on social media. He's got a pond in his backyard. He's always doing fishing and pulling fish out. So pretty cool. He owns the name The Rock.
Let's go, Rock.
Let's keep moving. All right, we got something on dogs.
Yeah, dropping rocks out of the rear. And look, if you're in Italy and you live in the province of the Balzano region, this is going to be coming into effect pretty soon. So there is a dog DNA registration database that is being built out there of over 40,000 dogs, and it's being requested that anybody who owns a canine in this area does register your dog DNA with this company. And if you do not register your dog with the company, then you can face a fine up to like almost 300 to 1,000 euros, and roughly 500 euros. That's roughly like $540 for American. So there's this whole dog DNA thing. And so that way, when people are not picking up their dog poop, then they're going to have people that go out there, test the dog's DNA, and then fine people 50 to 500 euros for not cleaning up their dog's defecation. So I honestly, there's so many environmental hazards to dogs, just people not picking up their dog waste. Like, it can pollute so many different things. It causes a lot of issues. It's lazy.
Yep.
I'm just going to go off on this a little bit. I live in a high-rise building, and there's a lot of dogs in this building. And the amount of times that I jump in the elevator and there's like pee in the elevator,
oh, good.
It's because that dog owner is not responsible and actually letting their dog out in time. Like, this dog is trying to hold it, can't hold it. Like, that's not the dog's fault. That's the owner's fault.
100%.
So any owners out there that aren't taking care of your animals, doing it right, picking up after them, taking them out on a regular schedule, working them out, being a responsible animal owner. If you're not doing that, then I completely stand behind what the Balzano region is doing in Italy to fine people for being lazy, basically.
Yeah, I'm kind of 50-50 on it. I like the idea of it. You know, I like the fact that people are going to be held accountable as dog parents, if you will, because I think there should be some accountability. I mean, we have that. You can't just defecate in public as a human, right? That's obviously a serious situation. Dogs have to defecate in public, but you got to do something about it. So, you know, I like that part. I don't really like too much government involvement in people's lives, like, you know, databases and things of that nature. Just it's hard to say what that could lead to.
Well, you know, they're using that information for other things.
Well, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
Anytime
it's not just for the poop database.
Right.
That's the layer that they're saying they're using. You know, they're using it for other things.
Most likely. Yeah, most likely. But I mean, the idea of it makes sense to me. The fines, I think, are fair, you know, because then it's also saying here that, you know, people that don't register could also face a fine from 292 to 1,048 euros. So, you know, it's like, do you take the fine and not register, or register and then possibly get fined for not complying with the registration?
Oh, I mean, look, if someone is going to, the lazy person is not going to register. They're going to get fined for that, and then they're also going to be lazy and then not pick up the dog shit
and
as
then
well.
And then there's no way to track what dog shit.
Yeah, but at least they're getting fined in the first place.
That's fair.
You know, so that's my feelings on that. I don't know. Where does everybody else stand? Do you think this is something that all countries should do? Enforce picking up poop with DNA testing? I don't know. I think it's interesting nonetheless.
It is, and we'll see. I mean, I think, you know, experimental and smaller populated areas would be the way to give this a go, but we'll see how all that shakes out. So keep it moving. Going back to wrestling, we just got done talking about The Rock, of course. So the WWE just made a huge announcement this week.
Okay.
And they signed a major deal. This is a big deal, guys. Netflix signed a deal with WWE Monday Night Raw. I mean, I've been watching wrestling for so long. It used to be Raw is War. That was changed to, that was during the Attitude Era, the greatest era of wrestling, if we're going to be honest. And I think most people would agree with me on that. Probably not the young folks. But in any case, it's going to be moving to Netflix. They signed a $5 billion deal. This will be the first live-streamed, consistent weekly sporting event in Netflix history. So that's kind of a big deal. Now, the contrary to that is, as we saw a few weeks ago on Peacock with the Kansas City playoff game, people were outraged because it was exclusively on Peacock. Meaning they have to pay, $10, $15 a month, whatever it is, whatever service they subscribe to, because there's, tiers.
You can't just buy I want to watch this show one day.
I don't think it works that way. It's like monthly subscriptions, right? I think
like a pay-per-view for Peacock. Why not just sell an inflated price for one show?
Yeah,
I don't know.
The playoff deal was tough because it's playoff football. That's always available, usually over the air. Everybody can view it. People were pissed. And I think you're going to see some of that here as well. The only thing I'll say to that is, it's been on USA for a while. It's been on TNN. It's been on all of these kind of premium cable channels, if you will, that you already had to pay for in a cable subscription to begin with.
Yeah.
So, in other words, you couldn't get it over the air antenna. You were paying for premium cable. So now it's going to force wrestling fans to have to purchase Netflix if they don't already have it, which who's kidding who? I think most people do. They did cut back on password sharing, so that also is going to increase revenue for Netflix for the users. But I'm curious, Art, what your thoughts are on taking live entertainment, because that's basically what it is, World Wrestling Entertainment, to a streaming platform.
Yeah, I mean, you're going to run risk of having more technical issues, I believe, with individual users, maybe not as a whole. It just depends on the individual viewer's connection. So you might deal with more issues there. You're probably going to be dealing with a decreased viewership in the very beginning as well. And hopefully the payout is to get more people to buy Netflix. That's what the idea is.
Well,
but I don't think this is going to affect the WWE much because, like you mentioned, they're already on these paid these paid programs.
Yeah. Well, there's a WWE network.
And so now it's just going to be another one that they happen to be on.
My only question is it going to work where it's and I probably know the answer to this, is it just live stream? If you miss it, you can't watch it again? Or is Raw going to be cataloged now forever on Netflix? Can you go back and watch the first episode of Raw that airs on Netflix in 2027?
Can you go watch stuff unless it's filmed? Is it
It's hard
how
to
does
say
wrestling work?
Well, because
that?
I know they have the WWE Network. I think that's on Peacock, if I'm not mistaken. Currently, I don't know if Peacock has lost those rights once Netflix takes over. You can go back and watch Raw, Royal Rumble, WrestleMania, whatever the program is. I'm just wondering how Netflix is going to do it. Is it going to be because for example, Amazon Prime does Thursday Night Football.
Yeah.
But if you don't watch it while it's happening, you don't have the option to go back and watch it. So is that what's going to happen with Raw?
Maybe.
You know, that's what's going to be interesting.
Maybe. I mean, if they can just get away with showing it live once and not holding that data, then that frees up their storage.
Right.
So
yeah, it's going to be interesting. I don't know. So that's big news in the entertainment business, the wrestling world.
It is interesting.
All
Yeah,
those
you
kind of
really
things.
got on that.
Yeah, I got
this week. You were into it.
I was feeling some John Ekstrom energy with wrestling, and I am not up with what's going on other than I'm sticking to my prediction on The Rock, and that's what's going to happen. So let's keep moving. All right, we got the Would You Rather, the weekly segment. Let's go live action back to last week's Would You Rather, which you can always get the results and participate in these polls over on Twitter X at Happy Friday USA. I'm pulling it up right now on my phone.
Or just go ahead and leave a comment below here on YouTube. It's fun to have people participate. Last week, the Would You Rather. What was the Would You Rather again?
So this is a good one. So we had we also asked our guest on Discussion Combustion.
Oh
last
yes,
week.
okay. So it was: Would you rather get stranded in a winter wilderness or a deserted island? Mm-hmm.
So the results are in on the poll on our Twitter X. 71% took the deserted island.
Okay.
29% went with the winter climate.
Okay.
That's the results from last week. And I went deserted island.
You did. I went winter wilderness, and so did Spirit Forest.
Correct.
She did. So thank you so much for your participation there. A lot of fun. We have fun putting that out and seeing what everybody else has to say and choose. So for this week's Would You Rather, we're going to go a little sexual on this one.
Let's just, PSA is going to be, I don't know about X-rated, but
it's not X-rated.
It's R-rated.
Is this R-rated?
PG-13?
It's PG-13.
All right.
So would you rather never have an orgasm? Okay? So you never have an orgasm, or would you rather never have the feeling of love? So obviously there's things to talk about there. We could open this up. Personally, I'm going to feel love because sure, an orgasm is one of the greatest natural feelings that we can give ourselves, but that is somewhat of like a flash in the pan. It's like less than 30 seconds, right? Like it's like a minute maybe. Like the actual act of orgasming maybe lasts a minute, maybe for a dude. For women, it can be longer.
It can be longer.
However, the feeling of like internal love and having love for somebody, like I feel like that's much more sustainable and like catching a nut, an orgasm is more like full of lust to where feeling love and that is like I feel like it's more positive. So that's why I'm going on the love side.
Yeah, I mean, as all of our would you rathers usually are, there's a lot of gray areas.
Yeah,
and there's a lot of contributing factors because we were spitballing a little bit before we went on mic about true love and what that means to people, and I was kind of saying how if you don't love yourself, that's what true love is loving yourself, and sometimes that can come in forms of masturbation.
Well, then so then do you never feel the feeling of self-love then if you're selecting the orgasm over love?
Well, but see, the gray area I think then leads to, because even you'd mentioned previously before we jumped on mic that sometimes sex with somebody who you're in love with is better and it amplifies the orgasm. Or whatever.
but that's just like a side point because that's having both.
So yeah,
because you're orgasming and in love, so you can't have both.
That's where it's a tough would you rather because it's saying, all right, if you choose the love, is the orgasm no longer you don't have that anymore?
Yeah, you're not.
So you're just in love, no sex, basically. Is what you're saying.
You can have sex, but there's just no orgasming.
It's interesting.
I guess you can have sex, but you're not orgasming.
That's a tough one. It really is because you do things. You drink beer to get a buzz. You do sex to climax. You eat food to fill up.
Yeah.
There's things that you do to get to a specific thing. That's a tough one. I could go either way on it. Honestly, that's a tough. Would you rather?
Well, you're gonna have to pick.
I know that. I think I'm gonna take. I will forego the feeling of love.
You're gonna forego the feeling of love.
Yeah.
I had a feeling we were gonna be split 50-50 on this one.
Yeah, only because of everything we just talked about. It's a tough one because I could go the other way, but because I have to choose, I'm going to forego.
So then you're never going to have self-love.
I guess I'll just be one of those lonely.
But is that part of it, or is it just in love with somebody else?
In this would you rather case, I'm choosing orgasms or love.
Yeah, I don't think we can remove self-love because you're literally loving yourself if you pick the orgasm.
Well, if you're referring to masturbation, yeah. I don't know. That's a tough one.
That is a tough one. There's a lot of gray out. There's a lot of gray areas there,
and there's a lot of what-if scenarios.
That's true.
Right. So I don't know. I'm going to take that. I think I'm going to forego love, take the orgasm. curious to see what the viewers
I'm curious
are going to pick.
Yeah.
Because I think it's also going to depend, too. Age is going to play into this.
Because is it love, too? Like, I love my dog. Like, you can't feel love for, like, your animal. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know, man. That just seems like a big thing to, like, never feel.
Yeah.
Opposed to, like, just, climaxing for a moment. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know, man. That's a tough one because, I mean, there's folks that never even get to experience that due to
climaxing.
Neuropathy issues or, quadriplegics, you name it.
Yeah.
That's a tough one.
That's a tough one.
I'm going to choose just because I have to choose. I'm going to forego the love, take the orgasm. I could change my mind. Let us know what you think in the comments below or on the Twitter X poll over there. Happy Fry USA. It's good. Would you rather? Right? That got us thinking a little bit.
Yes.
So, keep moving along. Of course, the Would You Rather is a weekly segment, and so is Kev's Random Records.
Bring it in.
This might as well just be the David Rush part of the program.
Well, he wasn't here last week, but damn it, David Rush is back.
David Rush is a solid lad who holds the Guinness Book of World Records for the most Guinness Book of World Records, and he's now added another Guinness Book of World Records.
Mad lad.
This guy went ahead and did M&M sorting, okay? And we also kind of bantered about this a little bit and how he found possibly a gray area. Mm-hmm. So he sorted the peanut M&Ms by color in a record time.
Yes.
So he had to take, there was a certain amount, a certain weight.
Ounces that he had to do.
Yep. So he had to get 500 grams of M&Ms and sort those by color. So you got your green, your reds, your yellows, and he's going through and doing all that.
Yeah.
And he was able to do it in a pretty quick time. Now, he practiced. He got his time down. He got his method down to 1 minute and 14 seconds sorting 500 grams of peanut M&Ms. And to your point, those do weigh more than regular M&Ms.
Yeah.
But the record didn't specify that it had to be. It just had to be 500 grams of M&M candy.
Yeah. So if you want to break this record, what you do is you do the normal M&Ms, the smaller ones. That way you can get more of them for the same amount of grammage because you're removing the peanuts, right? And then so you could smash this record.
I don't know about that.
You can smash it, but no, because then you'd have an opportunity to have more.
Yeah, but so you have more because regular M&Ms are smaller than peanut M&Ms.
Yeah.
So 500 grams of regular is going to be more than 500 grams of peanut M&Ms.
Do you think?
Now you've created more work because you have to sort more candies.
No, but like if you see the video and you could check that out in the show notes. By clicking the link down there, but he was like grabbing all in one hand. Like he was like doing that and grabbing and then keeping them in one hand. So you could probably fit more small. You can fit more small ones in one hand. I don't know, man. I don't know. I feel like there's somebody out there. If you have the ambition, I feel like you can break this record with the small, non-peanut M&Ms.
Yeah, I'm not sure if I'd give it a go. I mean, I'd be curious to see what kind of, like we tried it with the paper airplanes and all the other shit.
And do you have to do it one-handed or can you go two-handed? Because I feel like he was doing it one-handed.
He was doing it one-handed. I don't know if that was part of the record or not, but the fact remains he was able to sort, 500 grams of peanut M&Ms, which essentially is a bag, your regular
it's like
size,
a big bag,
not the bag that you just get at like the checkout line. The bag you'd get in the aisle.
Yeah, like
family size.
Yeah, the big old you're dumping this thing in a bowl bag.
In a bowl bag.
Yeah.
And he had to sort them by color. He did it in a minute 14 seconds. It sounds like it could be doable, but I think until you get in there and start processing what you're doing, I feel like it's going to be a little bit tough. I feel like if I came out of the gate, I could probably do it in a minute and 45, so I'd be 30 seconds off of this time.
I don't even know where I would be at. I'm pretty bad with stuff like that. I feel like sometimes I'm my land animal. I'm a tortoise, so we move a little slower around here.
I mean, that's fair. I'm a lion, which moves pretty quick, so I should be able to tackle this. I don't know. Not sure if I'd give it a go or not, but that's the random record of the week. And keeping it moving on to our furry friends. Art, you found a fun article out of Tejas.
Yeah, and guess what? I brought this up a couple weeks back. I told everybody out there, watch out for our four-legged furry friends that are what's the type of fur? Fuck, it doesn't matter. Beavers, okay? They're out there and they're causing mayhem. Beavers are taking over the nation. I was telling you all this. And now they created an entire road to crack and decay in front of residents' eyes in Texas. So these beavers are serious. They don't want to have running water around, okay? So the culvert section that failed on this bridge area, so there's heavy rain in Texas, and beavers ended up damming up this culvert, which created a flood on that side, like a little pond, a dam. And then that is not how the water was supposed to flow through that structurally. It created cracks and then now destroyed it. So beavers are taking over the nation. Don't sleep on the beaver. Anybody who picked coyotes over beavers, yeah, I'm talking to you, Kev.
I took the coyote.
Yeah, y'all messed up because beavers be taking over.
I don't know. I'm sticking with the Yodi on that. But as we know, the beavers can certainly do some damage. as has been proved here in Texas. The Beaver Dam blocked a pipe, create all this dirt and all this debris, take over the road. Kind of a big deal.
Well, and the thing about this too is this community was actually, this was the one piece of transit between and connecting the community. So like the west side of the community, like they're sheltering in place right now. Like they don't have a way
they can't get out
to drive in and out. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's
Sinkholes
what's going
are crazy,
on.
man.
Yeah.
I saw a video earlier this week of a cement truck, ironically, driving over a road, and it basically, the sinkhole happened as it was driving over, and it flipped the cement truck on its, like, just completely ripped it. It's crazy to just see how the ground can go away underneath at any moment. But we know water does a lot of damage to a lot of things, and beavers, of course. Look, going back to the beaver coyote debate, I mean, obviously the beaver, that's a win for the beaver.
That's a win for the beaver, bro. Coyotes aren't out there fucking up infrastructure, okay?
They're not fucking up infrastructure. They tried to fuck up that dog a few weeks ago, and the cat scared it away.
They did.
Look, they're out there. They're out there. You got to watch out for them beavers. Kind of a wild deal.
Beaver Nation, guys, look, 2024, it's the year of the beaver. I'm going to keep bringing in beaver articles this year. You best believe.
Absolutely. And I'll tell you what, in 2024, right here in Colorado, they changed some laws on crawfish boils.
Okay.
So, crawfish typically known as a Louisiana thing down there in the bayou. It's a southern tradition down there. Yes, Lord. The way those Cajun guys get down with the way they do these boils. And I really want to go to a true, authentic New Orleans-style crawfish boil. So Colorado has made them legal. And what that means is, what's been made legal is allowing crawfish to come into the state of Colorado. Because previously, they didn't allow it because they didn't want outside critters and things that we didn't naturally have in the Colorado River, lakes, and streams here to be brought in and
it's
contaminate.
Weird, though, because I've had a crawfish boil in Colorado before.
Yeah, it was just illegal.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what it was.
An illegal backyard cookout. What was this, moonshining
Yeah,
days?
some
Like, what's going on right now?
Some moonshine and shit. So, yeah, of course it's happened.
Yeah.
You can get crawfish shipped here.
Yeah.
It's just there was this kind of underlying law that nobody really gave a fuck about, that you couldn't bring crawfish into the state, hence you couldn't have a crawfish boil. That law has changed here in the 303. Here is the discrepancy. This is a tough year for Louisiana crawfish farmers. And as we know, the price of anything has gone up on goods, lobster, you name it. Things that need to be, especially things that need to be exported and shipped in, right? We don't have the Louisiana swamps here, the mud bugs, as they call them down there as a nickname. The crawdads, all those kind of things. Crawfish Pappy, our boy. These guys, the Louisianas, they know how to do it. But here's the deal. So these farmers, they're having a hard time harvesting the amount of crawfish that we've seen in the past. We're seeing a decrease. Now, that could be because of a couple things. Market conditions, the need for crawfish, more people want to do it. It's become more popular. It's becoming more popular in culinary dishes. There's more things happening with it. It could be last year was a very dry season in Louisiana, which could have maybe impacted the reproduction of these crawfish. Not really sure how it works, but that's going to be a thing. Yes, you can have a crawfish boil here in Colorado now, but it's going to be very expensive because these crawfish are getting rare.
And honestly, look, as cool and traditional as that is, and I'm going to be in Mardi Gras here coming up pretty soon doing one of these things, I would rather just eat like some boiled shrimp. Because here's the thing, is with this crawfish, the flavor's good. You could get that same flavor on a shrimp. With the crawfish, you have to like eat it out of its thing. There's minimal meat, a lot of extra work for it. You're shucking the heads and stuff like this. If you like laborious calories, that's the way to go. I would like to see some shrimp in a crawfish boil, and I don't care if that's blasphemy.
I mean, that's a pretty Colorado statement, I would think. I think the folks down in Baton Rouge and New Orleans would be like, what's this boy saying?
Watch, I go down there. Watch, when I go down there, they're going to have some shrimp up in the mix.
They probably will.
I'll let them know. I'll let everybody know.
They probably will. And I'm actually a big supporter of Southern Boys Outdoors. They're out of New Orleans. They do amazing crawfish boils on their YouTube channel, and they do crab legs, shrimp, you name it. It's fun to see the crawfish boils. There's so many incredible ingredients that go into it outside of just the crawfish.
Well, and the whole act of just dumping this massive amount of steaming hot food on a big table, and you got 15, 20 people standing around it, it's trash cans. It's about the experience, all right?
Yes.
Everyone's sitting there. It's spicy. You're like finding finger food. It's fun.
Yes,
it's
Lord.
a good time. Yes, Lord.
As the Cajun folk would say.
Oh, my goodness.
So I look forward to having some crawfish, maybe here in Colorado. I don't know. Maybe we can convince Crawfish Pappy to get in on that. Let's keep moving. So we got some cool shit to do this weekend. It is Championship Sunday. If you're an NFL fan, it's down to 4 teams for the Super Bowl. We have a bye week coming up after that. NASCAR's coming. There's going to be a lot more coming on that. Kansas City is at Baltimore. That's going to be the early game. And we got the Detroit Lions, who, oh, by the way, haven't been this far in the playoffs in 34 years.
Almost everybody's rooting for the Lions.
Everyone wants the Lions.
Like, if you look at the maps of the nation, like, it's almost all blue.
Yeah. Look, I'm pulling for the Lions, but what I'm going to tell you guys is this. You can go back on record and listen to what I said on September 9th on a program. I don't know if it was this one or Discussion Combustion. I said the Super Bowl is going to be Baltimore and San Francisco, and they're in the Final Four. I'm sticking with it. Baltimore.
Did you say that shit?
I went on record to say it.
This
Go back
guy.
and fact check me. Baltimore and San Francisco is what I'm sticking with. I'm sick of Kansas City Chiefs. Detroit, I am pulling for Detroit, but now I kind of want my original prediction to come true.
Okay, that's fun. Okay, so look, you're good with that. I think your prediction will actually hold, Kev. I really do believe that. Moving down to the southeast, Orlando, Florida, we got Rock the Universe Festival. You're into this rock stuff this week.
I like rock.
I know that's not Dwayne The Rock Johnson related, but it's still rock.
Rock around, baby.
Rock around.
Let it rip, rock it. Art, one of your favorite things, Bob Marley.
Oh, yeah, baby.
The Bob Marley Festival is going on out in Long Beach, California, and I bet there's going to be some marijuana smoking involved there.
You know, I guarantee you that no one fights and everyone has a great time.
I would agree with that.
And that the food vendors sell out of everything.
It's going to be a good time. Look, Bob Marley's music's tremendous. Like, it would be a fun festival.
You know, I've actually seen Bob Marley's son perform a couple times.
Ziggy?
Yeah, I've seen him.
Did you see Ziggy?
I've seen him a couple times, man. He was awesome. You know, keep the love alive, and that's also why I'm saying thumbs down to the orgasm, thumbs up for love. Let's go, Bob Marley.
You really are a hippie at heart. I can appreciate that about you, Art. So down in Scottsdale, Arizona, where it's somewhat kind of still warm, a lot of golf's happening. We got spring training coming up, fun things. The Taste of Arizona Food and Drink Festival is going on in Scottsdale, or as some folks like to call it down there, Snotsdale, as a slang term. That sounds like a lot of fun, though.
Because it's higher up, it's cold, people's nose get runny or something?
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Is that why?
I'm not really sure why
like,
they call it Snotsdale.
Why would they call it? Because, like, their nose gets runny.
Yeah, I think we both know why they call it Snotsdale.
Which is because cocaine?
Yeah, and snotty people, cocaine.
Oh.
That'd be more Florida, I think. But,
interesting.
In any case, if you're in Scottsdale, if you're in the Phoenix area, go down and check out the Taste of Arizona Food and Drink Festival. Very similar to the Denver Wine Food Festival that happens here in Denver that I do every September. That's a lot of fun. So that's going on down there in Scottsdale.
Yeah, that's
But, of course, everyone's focused on football this weekend.
Yeah, of course, you know, and have some good cookouts. Enjoy your time with people that you love. And also, thank you for tuning in. Discussion Combustion here. On the Discussion Combustion Happy Friday YouTube channel. And you know, everywhere you can check us out and subscribe. We're on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. You can send us an email, happyfridayamerica@gmail.com. Fricashinas, y'all are consistent, just like we are on Fridays. Let's go.